Many people want to change their lives, but very few are willing to face the truth about what that actually takes. We all want growth, success, financial freedom, confidence, and peace, yet we often avoid the very experiences that create them. Life does not hand success to us on a silver platter. It tests us, and it keeps repeating the same lessons until we are ready to face them, until we learn to rise above them. Once that happens, everything begins to shift. As a society, we talk a lot about wanting better lives. We believe we are capable of more, and for most people, it's absolutely true. Many of us have lived on both sides of that struggle. The confusion, the debt, the stress, the feeling that life is happening to us rather than for us. And many have also known a breakthrough, the moment when something finally clicks and momentum begins. Personal growth isn't always easy or pretty. Sometimes it means feeling uncertain, uncomfortable, or lost before clarity comes. Sometimes it requires taking action even when you're scared. Sometimes it means realizing that we have been standing in our own way. But here is the encouraging part. If we are willing to face the truth and genuinely face it, life can transform. Not instantly, but profoundly and permanently. Hi, I'm Jim Mathers, entrepreneur, author, and international speaker. My mission is to inspire, educate, and motivate you to live the best life possible. In today's video, I'm going to discuss 5 brutal truths about life that, once understood and accepted, can fundamentally shift how we see ourselves and how we live. 1. The mind lies constantly. How many times have you thought about doing something and then decided not to because you already knew the outcome or imagined it in your head? The mind does not always tell the truth. It often creates stories that feel true, stories built from fear, doubt, past failures, and old emotional wounds. It whispers things like, "You're not ready. You're not good enough. What if you fail?" And sometimes it does more than whisper. It creates an entire narrative of how things will go wrong before we even start. This is so powerful that many people never begin a dream, a goal, or a new direction because in their minds, they have already failed. This happens because the mind is wired for survival, not success. Its job is to protect us from failure, embarrassment, disappointment, rejection, anything that could feel threatening. So it assumes the worst scenario in order to keep us safe. Yet in the modern world, most of what we fear will not harm us. It will help us grow. Yet still, the mind responds to new opportunities the same way it responds to danger. It pulls us back into what is familiar because familiar feels safe, even if familiar is the very thing holding us back. These thoughts aren't facts, they're echoes of old experiences. And based on them, the mind builds walls. But the same walls that block failure also block opportunity. When we recognize that the mind can lie to us, we no longer accept every anxious thought as truth. We begin to pause, to question. Is this fear protecting me? Or is this an opportunity to grow? Is this an old story or the beginning of a new one? That awareness creates space. Space to breathe, to choose, and to respond instead of react. Remember, freedom begins when we stop believing every thought we think. 2, what we avoid controls us. Have you ever put something off or avoided a confrontation only to realize it only made it worse or harder to deal with? Avoidance feels comfortable for a moment. Avoiding a conversation, delaying a decision, pushing aside a responsibility. It only brings temporary relief, but the cost of avoidance grows over time. Every time we avoid something, we teach the mind, that's too much, I can't handle it. And slowly our world shrinks. The task gets heavier, the conversation becomes scarier, the dream feels further away. Whatever we avoid does not disappear, it actually grows. It waits, it lingers, it deepens its roots. But when we turn toward the discomfort, even a little, something shifts. We discover that fear is often a feeling, not a fact. The beginning is the hardest part. Readiness comes after, not before action. Every time we choose discomfort intentionally, we build confidence in ourselves. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving with fear. Remember, growth begins where avoidance ends. 3, we become what we believe we are. How capable are you? Really? There's no right answer. But I can assure you that whatever you believe about who you are, what you are capable of, what you can and can't achieve, it's true. We develop identity through belief, through practice, through repetition. We often tell ourselves things like, I'm not disciplined, I've never been confident, I always struggle with this, I can't speak in public. But those things and many more are not true. They reflect the past, not the present, not the future, and definitely not who we are capable of becoming. The key to breaking free from this is to realize that we are not fixed in place. We are not finished. We're always in the process of learning, growing, improving, and becoming bigger and better. And here's another thing. Identity is not discovered, it's built. It's built from the choices we make and the actions we take as a result. It's built by who we believe we really are. If we practice hesitation, we feel stuck. If we practice self-doubt, we feel uncertain. If we practice belief, even slowly, we begin to grow into that belief. We do not need to transform overnight. We simply need to believe, decide, take action, and practice the version of ourselves that we want to become. One choice at a time, one moment at a time, and one step at a time. Remember, your true identity is shaped by your belief in yourself and the daily positive actions you practice. 4, we are wired for emotion. How many times have you reacted a certain way and later regretted it? How many times did you make a decision only to question it later? We are built to follow our emotions, to listen to them, and to react to them. Research shows that 90 to 95% of our decisions are driven by emotion and unconscious patterns. Only a small percentage are truly rational or based on logical thinking and computing. But our emotions are not the enemy. They are information. They are signals. It's perfectly okay for us to be emotional and feel our emotions. Feeling is not a weakness. It's being human. But there is a difference between feeling emotion and being ruled by it. There's a difference between allowing ourselves to feel our emotions and being controlled by them. When emotions go unmanaged, anger becomes a reaction, fear becomes avoidance, sadness becomes isolation or withdrawal, and so on. But when emotions are noticed, understood, and managed, when we feel angry, we can choose to be patient and cool down before taking action or making a decision. When we feel scared, we can choose to move forward and succeed in spite of it. And when we're sad, we can decide to stay open, socialize, and communicate to a friend or family member to feel better. Emotional strength is not being unaffected. It is learning to stay steady in the waves of those emotions. Remember, we don't have to control our emotions, only learn to stay grounded while feeling them. 5, there is suffering either way. I know suffering is a harsh word, but I often tell people they can choose between two pains, the pain of sticking with the problem or the pain of solving it. There's pain in either path. There's pain in growth and pain in staying the same. There's pain in learning, and there's pain in staying ignorant. There is pain in being disciplined and consistent, and pain in not doing so. There's pain in building a new life, and frustration in reliving the old one. There is discomfort in stepping forward and standing still. There's a cost to grow, and there is a cost to avoid everything. We just need to choose which pain we're willing to experience or deal with. No one's life is free from struggle. The question is not whether we will struggle. The question is, what are we struggling for? And here's the thing. Struggling to build something meaningful hurts differently than struggling because we never tried. And often, if we choose the pain of growth, the pain will eventually diminish, becoming lighter and lighter. And there will be many, many days when we feel no pain at all. But if we choose the pain of not fixing a problem, just avoiding it or staying the same, we may experience that pain more often. And sometimes it can even get worse. One expands you, the other shrinks you. So if you're gonna struggle toward your future, not away from it. Choose the challenge that leads somewhere you wanna go. Choose the discomfort that has a purpose. Choose the effort that builds you up rather than breaks you down. And remember, pain with purpose becomes power. So there you have it. 5 truths I've seen play out over and over again in my own life and in the lives of people I've helped. And the moment I decided to face these truths head on, everything began to shift for me. Not instantly, not perfectly, but steadily. And I hope the same thing happens for you. You don't need to master all 5 today. Just take one, sit with it, practice it, apply it. Let it become part of who you are. Then move on to the next one. And you may realize that every moment, even the difficult ones, can serve a purpose if you allow them to. So take a deep breath, stand tall, face the truth, and begin practicing the version of yourself you are always meant to become. You're closer than you think. Now I've got something else for you that I think could really help. It's a free book I put together called Cracking the Millionaire's Code. It's the story of how I emerged from a truly challenging period, what I call my rock bottom, and began turning things around, ultimately leading me to my own personal financial freedom and my first $1 million. In the book, I share the first thing I did that changed everything for me, along with a simple formula you can apply in your own life. Nothing complicated, just real stuff that worked for me that I wanted to share with you. You'll find a link to it in the video description below. And when you download it, you'll also gain access to a video course I created called Get Uncomfortable. It's 10 things that helped me get past a lot of the mental blocks that were holding me back. Totally free, no catch, just stuff that might help if you're in a place like I was. Now lastly, before you go, be sure to hit the subscribe button to avoid missing my next video. For more content like this and to learn about my Millionaires Club, visit my website at jimmathers.com. And remember, life is a journey. It's made to be lived and experienced to the fullest. And most of all, it was made to be fun. Let's make the most of it together. Now have a great day.